In Dubai, and heavy rain has battered Gulf states, causing flash floods, with some places recording a year's worth of rain in a single day.
Coming to see that this was happening was really something I did not expect.
In the heart of Dubai, the city of dreams, a terrifying flood has just challenged its resilience. Torrential waters surge through streets and high-rise buildings, leaving chaos in their wake. From the iconic Burj Khalifa to bustling markets, no corner was spared. Yet, amidst destruction, emerged tales of courage and unity as communities rallied. Even though lives were claimed, volunteers braved deep waters to rescue, while responders provided aid tirelessly. Join us as we uncover the devastating storm that rocked Dubai, UAE. Disastrous rainstorm plunges Dubai into chaos. An unexpected but terrifying storm rocked the United Arab Emirates and Oman this week, bringing with it record-breaking rainfall that flooded highways, inundated houses, brought traffic to a complete standstill, and trapped people in their homes. When the rescue mission swung into action, it was discovered that at least 20 people were reported to have been lost in the deluge in Oman, while a single person was said to have been lost in floods in the UAE that closed government offices and other corporate businesses for days on end. When the storm initially started, it first hit Oman on Sunday before it pounded down on the UAE on Tuesday, knocking out power and causing huge disruptions to flights as runways were turned into rivers. In the UAE, an unbelievable 10 inches of rainfall were recorded in Al Ain, a city bordering Oman. It was the largest rainfall to ever happen in 24 hours since they started keeping records in 1949. Highways and malls have been flooded, schools have been closed, and flights have been disrupted at one of the world's busiest airports after the United Arab Emirates experienced what the government described as its largest amount of rainfall in 75 years. The one person that was lost in the flood was reported by the police to have been swept away in his car in Ras Al Khaimah, one of the UAE's 7 emirates. There was disturbing footage from Dubai International Airport that showed passenger jets moving through deep water instead of the regular runway, spraying water in their wake, while other photos captured city streets turned to rivers, with cars sitting abandoned in floodwaters. The situation at the airport was nothing short of shocking, so much so that one man called it absolute carnage. It was that bad. The man told the Associated Press on condition of anonymity that in a country with strict laws that criminalize critical speech, there was no way to get a taxi. People are sleeping in the metro station. People are sleeping in the airport. The surprising thing is that, despite the widespread consequences of the terrifying flood, authorities have remained tight-lipped on the exact extent of the damage. The reason for this silence is completely unknown. The rain was widely spread because, aside from devastating Dubai, it also spread as far as Bahrain, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and Oman, where rescuers found the body of a girl in Saham, bringing the death toll in the country to 19 since Sunday. Dubai International Airport is easily the world's busiest for international travel and a hub for the long-haul carrier Emirates. In an average year, there is 3.73 inches of rain at the airport, and everything continues as usual because such a meager amount of rain is not enough to pose a threat. However, on Wednesday, the airport authority said it had experienced significant disruption, probably the first of its kind in decades. Since the airport was significantly affected by the unfriendly rainstorm, Egypt Air has suspended flights between Cairo and Dubai until the conditions improve. The CEO of the airport, Paul Griffiths, said the situation remained incredibly challenging. According to him, when he talked with the state-owned talk radio station Dubai Eye in his living memory, he didn't think anyone had ever seen conditions like this. He expressed the grimness of the situation, saying that they were in uncharted territory. Some media reports suggested the rains may have been made worse by cloud seeding, a common practice in the dry Emirates to encourage clouds to produce precipitation by releasing salt particles into the air, often using planes. The salt released in cloud seeding operations helps water droplets form, increasing the chance of rain. However, the National Center of Meteorology, which oversees cloud seeding operations in the UAE, told CBC that no missions had been dispatched for seeding operations before or during the turbulent weather episode. Omar Al-Yazidi, the Deputy Director General of the NCM, came out to clarify the cloud seeding situation, saying that they did not engage in any seeding operations during this particular weather event. The essence of cloud seeding lies in targeting clouds at an earlier stage before precipitation. Engaging in seeding activities during a severe thunderstorm scenario would prove futile. Martin Ambaum, a professor of atmospheric physics and dynamics at the University of Reading, said he had spoken to meteorologists at the NCM who had denied cloud seeding had taken place. He said that cloud seeding, certainly in the Emirates, is used for clouds that don't normally produce rain. He added that one would not normally develop a very severe storm out of that, and it would be pointless to try to seed clouds that were already likely to produce downpours. Even if one did go out, there is no way one could find a measurable difference. He added that in the 50s and 60s, people still thought about using cloud seeding to produce these big weather events or change these big weather events. This has long been recognized as just not a realistic possibility. While rain is rather unusual in the UAE, it does occur periodically during the cooler months of winter, which is why this storm took the country by surprise. Numerous photos and videos show the flood. You could see that homes were flooded, though not submerged, and vehicles were abandoned on roadways across Dubai. Authorities sent tanker trucks into the streets to pump away the water. Many roads in other areas lack drainage, given the rarity of regular rainfall. The major shopping centers, Dubai Mall and Mall of the Emirates, experienced flooding, and there was ankle-deep water in at least one Dubai metro station. According to images posted on social media, lightning was seen flashing across the sky, occasionally touching the tip of the Burj Khalifa, the world's tallest building. The NCM, in a post on X, urged residents to take all the precautions and to stay away from areas of flooding and water accumulation. The UAE government media office posted on X that the downpours were an exceptional climate event. According to authorities, schools will remain closed in Dubai until next week. This directive alone underscores the difficulty of the cleanup, and the government also had to extend remote working for its employees. Human-caused climate breakdown is supercharging extreme weather across the world, driving more frequent and more deadly disasters, from heat waves and wildfires to floods. At least a dozen of the most serious events of the last decade would have been all but impossible without human-caused global warming. Extreme rainfall is more common and more intense because of human-caused climate breakdown across most of the world. This is because warmer air can hold more water vapor. It is most likely that flooding has become more frequent and severe as a result. Baum said the world should expect more extreme weather events. He said that we have been saying for several decades now that in a changing climate, we will probably get more of these kinds of severe events. And indeed, this is happening. Concerned citizens and other people have wondered why such an extreme climate event rocked an otherwise peaceful country. What could have caused such a devastating flood? Rainfall is rare in the UAE and elsewhere on the Arabian Peninsula, which is typically known for its desert climate. Because of this lack of rainfall, the UAE and Oman also lack drainage systems to cope with heavy rains. And as a result, submerged roads are not uncommon during rainfall. Since cloud seeding is not new to the desert country, following Tuesday's events, questions were immediately raised about whether cloud seeding, a process that the UAE frequently conducts, could have been the culprit that caused the heavy rains. This concept, known as cloud seeding, is a process in which chemicals are implanted into clouds. This is done to increase rainfall in an environment where water scarcity is a common concern. The UAE is located in one of the hottest and driest regions on the planet and has been leading the effort to seed clouds and increase precipitation. But the UAE's meteorology agency told Reuters there were no such operations before the storm. The huge rainfall was instead likely due to a normal weather system that was exacerbated by climate change, experts say. A low-pressure system in the upper atmosphere, coupled with low pressure at the surface, had acted like a squeeze pressure on the air, according to Esrey Al-Nakbi, a senior forecaster at the UAE government's National Center of Meteorology. That squeeze, intensified by the contrast between warmer temperatures at ground level and colder temperatures higher up, created the conditions for the powerful thunderstorm, she said. The abnormal phenomenon was not completely unexpected in April, as when the season changes, the pressure changes rapidly, she said, adding that climate change also likely contributed to the storm. Climate scientists say that rising global temperatures, caused by human-led climate change, are leading to more extreme weather events around the world, including intense rainfall. Dim Kumo, a professor of climate extremes at Vrije Universiteit Amsterdam, explained that rainfall from thunderstorms, like the ones seen in the UAE in recent days, sees a particularly strong increase with warming. This is because convection, which is the strong updraft in thunderstorms, strengthens in a warmer world. Friederike Otto, a senior lecturer in climate science at Imperial College London, said rainfall was becoming much heavier around the world as the climate warms because a warmer atmosphere can hold more moisture. It was misleading to talk about cloud seeding as the cause of the heavy rainfall. She added further that cloud seeding can't create clouds from nothing. It encourages water that is already in the sky to condense faster and drop water in certain places. So first, there's a need for moisture. Without it, there'd be no clouds. Mark Howden, director at the Australian National University's Institute for Climate, Energy and Disaster Solutions, said global warming has resulted in extraordinarily warm water in the seas around Dubai, where there is also very warm air above. This increases both potential evaporation rates and the capacity of the atmosphere to hold that water, allowing bigger dumps of rainfall, such as what has just been seen in Dubai. Another scholar, Gabi Hegrel, a climatologist at Edinburgh University, believes that extreme rainfall, like in the UAE and Oman, is likely to get worse in many places due to the effects of climate change. According to her, when conditions are perfect for really heavy rain, there's more moisture in the air, so it rains harder. This extra moisture is because the air is warmer, which is because of human-caused climate change. While the rain wasn't unexpected, the storm, on the other hand, was an unexpected catastrophe that dealt heavy blows to different countries. Tragic impact of the record-breaking rainstorm. Oman was the hardest hit by the storm. It claimed at least 19 lives that were lost due to the floods. This included 10 school children and their driver, whose vehicle was washed away by floodwaters in Samad al-Shan on April 14th. Rescuers found the body of a girl in Saham. In the UAE, it was jaw-dropping rainfall that lasted for 24 hours, surpassing Emirati meteorological data since records began in 1949. According to the National Center of Meteorology, the highest rainfall was recorded in the Khatm al-Shakla area of Al Ain, reaching 254.8 millimeters in less than 24 hours. Widespread flooding was reported in all 7 emirates. Ahead of the flooding, an estimated rainfall of 40 millimeters to up to 100 millimeters was estimated in some parts of the UAE. One UAE citizen, a 70-year-old man, died after his car was swept away by floods in a wadi in Ras Al Khaimah. Landslides were reported in Ras Al Khaimah and Al Ain. Residents were warned to stay home and avoid driving unless necessary. Internet and power outages were widespread as residents lost water. In the entire country, schools and the private sector were instructed to work the remainder of the week, excluding Monday, remotely from home. Dubai metro services were severely impacted. The services came to a standstill, leaving around 200 commuters stranded at several stations. Inter-city bus service on the Dubai-Abu Dhabi, Dubai-Sharjah, and Dubai-Ajman routes was suspended. A total of 1,244 flights at Dubai Airport were canceled over 2 days, with 41 diverted. All Fly Dubai flights scheduled for departure on April 16th from Dubai were canceled. At the Dubai Airport, a total of 164 millimeters of rain fell. The AFC Asian Champions League semi-final football match between the Emirati Al Ain and the Saudi Al Hilal football clubs, due to be played in Al Ain, was postponed for a day due to the floods. Heavy rainfall and thunderstorms were reported on April 15th and 16th that resulted in widespread flooding, leading to cars being abandoned on the roads. According to the Bahrain Meteorological Directorate, an average of 67.6 millimeters of rainfall was reported over 48 hours, the second highest rainfall recorded in Bahraini history. The Bahraini Ministry of Interior issued a public safety warning to residents to stay at home. The Bahraini Ministry of Education announced the closure of schools and higher education institutions as a result of the floods. On April 17th, the Prime Minister of Bahrain, Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa, announced plans to assess and compensate residents for rainfall-related damages to their homes. In the lead-up to the heavy rainfall, a nationwide emergency joint task force was set up between the Ministry of Works and the 4 municipality councils of Bahrain to coordinate flood relief efforts, including the removal of rainwater from flooded streets and pumping it to Al Luzi Lake. Wind speed gusts of 70 kilometers per hour were estimated. A supermarket ceiling in the town of Sitra collapsed due to the rain. In Qatar, schools and public buildings were closed due to the weather. Kuwait's meteorological agency warned of heavy rainfall and possible thunderstorms on April 16th. Rain also fell in southeastern Iran and the eastern province of Saudi Arabia. With such a devastating event hitting Dubai, a world tourist attraction, it is no wonder that different researchers have been talking about the weather conditions in Dubai and how they contributed to the storm. Seasonal changes in Dubai. Dubai may be a tourist hub, but it's not surprising to find that this beautiful city has just two seasons, summer and winter. The summer in Dubai begins around the last week of April and ends around the first week of October. This period is characterized by extremely hot weather, hot winds, and high humidity. Due to the city's proximity to the sea, the temperatures in Dubai are slightly milder in the summer in comparison to other Gulf cities such as Kuwait City and Riyadh. However, this means the city has high humidity, which can make the weather extremely unpleasant in the summer. Rainfall is scarce during the summer months, but the windy conditions ensure there are frequent dust storms. Temperatures regularly rise above 38 degrees Celsius during this period and fall to around 26 degrees Celsius overnight. The highest temperature recorded in Dubai is 49.0 degrees Celsius, which was reached in July 2023. Winter, on the other hand, begins around the last week of October and lasts until the middle of April. Most of the precipitation takes place during this season. Strong thunderstorms are not uncommon in the city during this period. These are accompanied by strong northwesterly winds and lower temperatures. The average daytime high during January, the coolest month, is around 22 degrees Celsius with overnight lows of 12 degrees Celsius. The lowest recorded temperature in Dubai is 5 degrees Celsius, reached in the early mornings from January 10th to 12, 2021. An urban heat island effect does exert an effect on Dubai as well. For example, during the winter months, when temperatures regularly fall to around 15 degrees Celsius and lower in the outskirts of the city and its suburbs, the temperature in central Dubai rarely falls below 18 degrees Celsius. This can be seen when comparing weather data from the city's two airports, Dubai International and Al Maktoum International Airport. In the summer, however, the opposite is true, with average highs reaching about 43 degrees Celsius in the suburbs and 38 degrees Celsius in central Dubai. The storm is a natural disaster, however, it's not the first of its kind. Dubai might be a great destination for tourists, but the city has had its fair share of climatic problems. Catastrophic sandstorms and extreme weather events in Dubai. During the summer season, a low-pressure area develops over Dubai, forcing strong northwesterly winds to blow from Saudi Arabia. These winds, also known as shamal, that is, north in Arabic, become gusty and unpredictable on reaching Dubai, lifting desert sand and reducing visibility. The sandstorms may last for several days. Notable sandstorms and extreme weather events that hit Dubai during the last few years include between April 18, 2008 and February 26, 2012, a severe sandstorm hit Dubai and reduced visibility to 1,500 meters. After that, a moderate sandstorm reached Dubai, which lowered the visibility and temperature. Still, in that period, strong winds caused sandstorms in Dubai and other regions of the United Arab Emirates, and two sandstorms hit Dubai and other parts of the country for a short time. On April 2, 2015, a very strong sandstorm hit Dubai and other parts of the country. It started to clear out closer to the evening. In some areas, visibility was reduced to 500 meters. On March 1, 2019, a strong sandstorm hit Dubai along with very strong winds after heavy rainfall, bringing temperatures down by 10 degrees Celsius. On June 21, 2019, after scorching hot temperatures of about 49 degrees Celsius in the afternoon, the weather broke down into a strong sandstorm, which eventually caused thunderstorms to rumble in parts of Dubai along with heavy rain, causing temperatures to drop sharply to about 32 degrees Celsius. This is one of the rarest rainfalls to ever occur in Dubai in June. From January 7th to around January 12, 2020, record-breaking rain hit Dubai and other regions of the UAE. The incessant storms brought strong winds and hailstorms and brought down temperatures severely. Unusually heavy rain hit Dubai, with rainfall reaching 150 kilometers per hour for 2.5 hours. According to preliminary reports, the storms also flooded various regions of the emirate, including the Dubai airport, leading to the cancellation of most flights. A cold wave hit the UAE from January 6 to 12, 2021. Temperatures dipped in Dubai as well. In the city, temperatures dipped to 8 degrees Celsius and on the outskirts to 5 degrees Celsius. On July 17, 2021, dust and sandstorms hit Dubai, followed by heavy rain. From December 31, 2021 to January 2, 2022, heavy rainfall hit Dubai, with most areas of the city receiving over 60 millimeters of rainfall in 2 days and reaching even 140 millimeters in various areas of the city. From January 21 to 24, 2022, a minor cold wave hit Dubai accompanied by strong and cool winds, with daytime temperatures settling around 17 degrees Celsius and falling to 10 degrees Celsius at dawn in the city and to 8 degrees Celsius in the outskirts. From July 26 to 28, 2022, heavy rainfall lashed Dubai along with other Emirates, including Sharjah, Ras Al Khaimah, and Fujairah. Temperatures rapidly dipped from 43 degrees Celsius to 26 degrees Celsius. Large floods occurred in most areas due to the intense rain affecting residents. On August 14, 2022, a severe sandstorm hit Dubai and other Emirates, reducing visibility to 500 meters. From January 25 to 27, 2023, record-breaking rainfall hit Dubai, with 100 millimeters of rain falling in just 3 days. Further temperatures stayed between 18 degrees Celsius and 9 degrees Celsius for 3 days. On March 21, 2023, a severe thunderstorm hit Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Sharjah, and the Northern Emirates, causing temperatures to drop between 12 degrees Celsius and 17 degrees Celsius. April 2023 was notoriously cool in Dubai, with the 40 degrees Celsius benchmark not being reached the whole month, the first time since records began. On the morning of May 8th, the temperature fell to 17 degrees Celsius, marking the coldest May temperature in decades. On June 2nd, 2023, Dubai marked another minimum record with strong wind gusts reaching 40 kilometers per hour, reducing the outdoor maximum temperature to 35 degrees Celsius in the afternoon instead of the usual average high of 40 degrees Celsius on the same day. The following day, on the early morning of June 3, 2023, temperatures fell to 24 degrees Celsius in the city and 21 degrees Celsius in the outskirts, marking another coldest June temperature in decades. On July 15 and 16, 2023, Dubai marked the hottest temperatures ever recorded, reaching 49 degrees Celsius in the afternoon, and with the lowest temperature of 37 degrees Celsius at night. This has been the hottest recorded temperature for decades. On April 15, 2024, a record-breaking rainstorm hit Dubai, producing 100 mm of rainfall. The annual average in the UAE averages between 140 and 200 millimeters. Accusations that the storm had been preceded by cloud seeding were denied by the UAE National Center of Meteorology, which coordinates cloud seeding missions in the region. While these floods and sandstorms in Dubai are indeed terrifying, they are not even close to the other great floods in other countries, the greatest floods ever recorded in history. When exploring the annals of history with a comprehensive look at the deadliest floods ever recorded, one could dive into the timeline of historical flood disasters, uncover major floods in history that shaped the past, and learn about the worst floods in world history. Floods have always been a part of our stories, causing big changes and challenges for people everywhere. These huge water disasters not only wash away our homes, but they also claim lives and even change the face of the earth. They teach tough lessons about being ready and working together to rebuild. When looking back at the biggest floods in history, one is reminded just how strong nature can be. It's like nature's way of telling us to always be prepared, to help each other out, and to take better care of our planet. Historical floods have been recorded across various civilizations, often linked to mythological stories or seen as pivotal events. These floods, from ancient times to the modern era, have shaped cultures, economies, and landscapes around the world. The 1931 China floods are considered some of the deadliest natural disasters ever recorded. Torrential rains caused the Yangtze River to overflow, affecting millions of people and resulting in an estimated death toll ranging from 1 to 4 million. Again, the 1887 Yellow River flood was a devastating event in China's history, caused by the breach of the Yellow River's dikes. It is estimated that the floodwaters inundated 50,000 square kilometers of land, leading to the deaths of approximately 900,000 to 2 million people. The failure of the Bangqiao Dam in 1975, triggered by Typhoon Nina, is one of the most significant man-made disasters. The dam's collapse unleashed a catastrophic flood that claimed the lives of an estimated 171,000 people and displaced millions in Henan Province, China. In a drastic move to stop enemies during the war in 1938, a dam on the Yellow River was destroyed on purpose. But the plan backfired, causing floods that ended up killing hundreds of thousands of innocent people. It's a sad example of how war strategies can sometimes go wrong. The Bola cyclone hit what is now Bangladesh in 1970, claiming up to 500,000 lives. It wasn't just a storm, it was a nightmare, proving how deadly nature can be, especially for those living in vulnerable areas. Bola cyclone. Imagine a city thriving and full of life suddenly swallowed by water in 1642. That's what happened to Kaifeng, China, when rebels destroyed the city's defenses. About 300,000 people died, turning a strategic move into a heartbreaking disaster. The Yangtze River, usually a source of life, became a source of destruction in 1935, taking 145,000 lives with it. This flood reminded everyone of the constant threat posed by such a powerful river. Still in China, another dark moment for the Yangtze River was in 1911, when floods claimed around 100,000 lives. These repeated tragedies along the river have pushed for better ways to manage and live with it. Again, in 1954, the Yangtze River flooded, taking tens of thousands of lives. The river's history is filled with such moments, pushing for changes in how floods are managed. The nation of Pakistan faced an unimaginable situation in 2010 when floods covered a huge part of the country and about 20,000 people died. All these disasters, including this recent one in Dubai, have shown the whole world how important it is to work together to prepare for and respond to nature's fury. Thank you for watching. Comment to share what you think in the comment section below. Remember to like and subscribe to see more videos.